My colleague complained about my work until she had to do it herself. The email announcing Brenda's promotion to my former leadership position should have stung more than it did. Instead, I felt something close to anticipation as I watched my colleagues reply with congratulations, knowing exactly what Brenda had gotten herself into. She'd spent months complaining about my performance to our new principal, and now she was about to discover why I'd been earning that extra $1,500 stipend. Teaching at Riverside High had been my dream job for 3 years. The students were motivated, the community supportive, and I'd built genuine friendships among the staff. My old principal had recognized my talent for data analysis and parent communication, promoting me to lead a team of teachers focused on student achievement. I lived in spreadsheets, turning raw test scores into actionable strategies that actually improved outcomes. The work was demanding, but I was good at it until everything changed with new leadership. Principal Williams arrived with management ideas that didn't accommodate my sensory processing disorder and mild hearing loss. In meetings, she'd announce policy changes verbally, never putting legally questionable strategies in writing. When these ideas were shared with me, I'd constantly ask for clarification, checking my notes to ensure accuracy. I could see her frustration building, even though I'd explained my hearing challenges repeatedly. Looking back, I wonder if my request for written confirmation made her uncomfortable about policies that weren't entirely ethical. Brenda coached tennis and had earned respect through 15 years of community service. I genuinely liked working with her until my hearing issues became a source of constant friction. In crowded hallways, she'd shout instructions while walking past, expecting me to catch every detail. When I'd tap my ear, the sign language gesture for "I can't hear," she'd roll her eyes and walk away without repeating herself, leaving me with incomplete information and confused students. The breaking point came during a school assembly relocation. Principal Williams announced in the hallway that we were moving to a different location, but I only caught that there was a change, not the specifics. Brenda was the only colleague nearby when I signaled that I hadn't heard the destination clearly. Her response was quick and dismissive before she hurried away, leaving me wandering the building with 20 confused students until we found the right location 5 minutes late. 3 weeks later, Williams called me into her office for the meeting that would end my leadership role. "You're being removed due to inconsistency and disrespect toward colleagues," she announced. When I asked which colleagues had complained, she claimed that information was private. When I asked about the disrespect allegation, she said my ear-tapping gesture seemed frustrated and rude to others. "That's the sign language symbol for 'I can't hear,'" I explained. But Williams dismissed my explanation, saying I shouldn't always expect special accommodation. I knew fighting the decision would only create more problems. Williams had made up her mind, probably influenced by Brenda's complaints about my difficult communication needs. Better to accept the demotion gracefully and watch what happened next. The school-wide email announcing Brenda's promotion felt like watching someone volunteer for a nightmare while thinking they were getting a reward. When the new school year began, Brenda discovered exactly what she'd inherited. The first surprise came when she realized the student data tracking system I'd built couldn't simply be transferred. The spreadsheet formulas required constant updates and adjustments that took years to master. "Could you just keep updating these for me?" she asked hopefully. "I'd love to teach you," I replied professionally, "but I'd need compensation for the training time." Her face went cold when she realized none of the other team leaders had ever created such systems. Then came the parent communications, and watching Brenda navigate that minefield became daily entertainment. I developed strategies over years of experience: how to redirect circular arguments, when to involve administration, how to turn complaints into collaboration. Brenda had none of those skills. I'd overhear her on 45-minute phone calls with angry parents, losing her entire planning period to conversations that should have taken 5 minutes. The meetings she now organized were disasters of inefficiency. Without my data systems providing clear talking points and progress summaries, Brenda struggled to keep discussions focused. Teachers who'd once praised her tennis program began questioning her leadership as meetings ran long and accomplished little. Principal Williams started asking pointed questions about declining team performance, unaware that she'd removed the person holding everything together. 6 months into her new role, Brenda looked exhausted in ways I'd never seen during her coaching days. The confident woman who'd been certain she could do my job better was discovering that leadership involved specialized skills beyond longevity and popularity. She was earning my old stipend while providing half the value, and everyone was starting to notice the difference. The ultimate vindication came during parent conferences. I watched Brenda struggle through meetings that I could have handled efficiently, lacking both the communication strategies and data analysis parents expected. Complaints began reaching administration about unclear information and disorganized presentations. The same parents who'd praised my detailed progress reports were now asking why their children's academic plans seemed so vague and poorly planned. Sometimes karma doesn't require intervention. It just requires patience. Brenda had gotten exactly what she'd asked for, and now she was learning why some positions pay extra money. The role she'd coveted was teaching her humility in the most public way possible, one failed meeting and frustrated parent at a time. Watching someone struggle with tasks you'd mastered isn't supposed to feel this satisfying. But after being pushed out for having a disability, seeing Brenda realize she was completely in over her head felt like justice served cold and perfectly timed.